Hello there. Hi.
Yeah. Woo! Wow, so exciting. Hello, everybody.
Hi there. Hi, Lucy.
So welcome. It's such an exciting thing. This is the second time we've done this. Welcome to MbM's live chats. Tonight we will be talking with Nicky Wong and Andy Wells from the MbM Gospel Choir. So we're just going to find out a bit about their story and their experience of being a part of the MbM family and specifically that choir. We also have the wonderful and ever-present in the MbM world, Emily Bollon,
Hey.
joining us as well, of course, as the founder and director of MbM. So yeah, we're just going to have a chit chat and we hope you enjoy. So first off, I would just love to know, but I think people would like to know, when did you both join? So Nicky, when did you join the Motivation by Music Gospel Choir?
I'm one of the founder members. I joined as Em relaunched her university gospel choir into one that was more inclusive for the general community around. And that was January, February 2015.
Wow, so that is almost 5 years. Incredible. Yeah. Wow. And you, Andy?
Nearly 6 years, in fact.
Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, Lucy.
Andy, when did you join?
So I joined 3 years ago now on a Friends Day Wednesday evening.
Yeah.
Which is where Emily and MbM invite people along just to have an evening and learn a whole song. So that's when I joined. I sing for another choir that Emily manages, and I got the invite from there. So a number of us came along and we all joined at the same time.
And it was great to have you.
Oh, lovely. So that was kind of how you got involved. So you were already in one of Emily's choirs. But for you, Nicky, what made you join? Why did you want to join this choir?
Coercion. Not quite, no. A very good friend and who was a member of the university choir, she invited me, and I always fancied joining a choir. Wasn't sure I could sing, but I've learnt that over the years gradually. And she invited me, and it was like a Friends Day Wednesday, and there were 8 of us, I think. It was very, very small.
Yeah.
And we had a good time. I can tell you about it, but would you like to hear?
Yeah, go for it.
It was very small. We had this incredibly energetic and enthusiastic leader who was very welcoming and energetic, as I said earlier, and inclusive. And just, we did some crazy warm-ups and it was fun. And I may not have sung very much, but I pretended. But I think Emily sees through that quite well. And I just felt this is something I want to be part of. It's informal, it's fun, it's joyous, and it's singing.
Oh, amazing. That's so good. Yeah, it's always so encouraging for somebody like Em to see people come back and want to be a part of it, because, you know, especially for you, it was obviously the start of this whole MbM Gospel Choir when you joined. So for Emily, you know, wanting people to kind of keep showing up and be a part of it was great, and obviously you wanted to be there, which is incredible. And I think that's such a testimony for Em, and the way she conducts these amazing choirs is that each week there's something to look forward to. You know you're going to have a great time, you know you're going to leave with a smile on your face. And yeah, that's just my experience, but I know most people share that. So when you went, I know, Andy, obviously you started going to a different choir with Emily's first, and then you went to the Friends Day Wednesday. But
Yep.
what was that like for you, the experience of first attending a choir session? How did you feel about that? Was it something that you were really up for doing, or was it a bit like, I'm not sure this is for me?
Oh yeah, definitely. we were a number of us came along for that evening, and the MbM choir then was a choir of women across all three parts of the choir. So there were female tenors as well, and then I pitched up, being one of just two guys who came along for that evening, and we stayed. We were like the only two guys. So yeah, so we were. I think when we started the session, people were saying they just are not used to having sort of like suddenly you've got deep voices singing in the choir as well. So it was a bit of a new thing that came into the choir. And I've always loved gospel music anyway. I find it hugely uplifting. So and we learnt a whole gospel song that evening, and there was just no doubt in my mind that I was just going to come back every week. And I've been every week since. I don't think we've missed anything. Even though we're not meeting now, we have virtual choirs. We go to a couple a week, and we get to as many as we can, and it's never stopped. Emily's enthusiasm just cuts through everything, and we've never stopped meeting, and we've never stopped producing stuff. We've produced so much like YouTube stuff now that I never dreamt I would ever do, and we do, and you're kind of like, you just do it without even thinking now. So it's pretty cool.
It was certainly fun to have some men join, but when I first joined at that very early time, there were two men, and then they went.
All right.
They moved away. So we had quite a period of.
Yeah, we've had so many men over the time. Many men. We've had so many men over the time, but there's something really difficult about keeping them. Loads of them have moved on with work's got really busy, or they've moved away, or whatever. It's just the transience of life and stuff that happens. But I remember that moment where we started to, like, all of our men had moved away or moved on or whatever, and then once you're an all-female choir, it was amazing. Like, we sounded amazing. Our blend was incredible. Like, we had a really good time. But it's so difficult to get a man to join an all-female choir. So when Andy, I think it was Andy and Bill, when they joined, and they joined together and they stayed, that's when we knew, this choir is gonna transform and change and grow and develop with having men at the center again, which is really wonderful. So we have had men, but never at the same time. They always they just move on really quick. Yeah,
it's really good because Bill and I kind of bounce off each other, so you can hear each other, which is like really useful, when you're in a choir, just to hear someone next to you. So so that's been very good, especially if one can't get it right. You can hear the other one and realize that you need to move your pitch a bit. So it's which happens every now and again, I have to say. So
it's like having another section when you have female tenors and male tenors, because obviously they do, the women can't necessarily get that low, and I've sung in the tenor section for a number of years, and it is different. It is nice to have, if you're the only female within males, it's a bit like I can't sing what they're singing, and vice versa. But I do think into the whole blend, it's just so nice to have that variety of tones, and we are different. Men and women do sound different, so it creates a very different.
It's been great.
I think what Emily's taught Bill and I is to sing up, so we now sing in the same range that the lady tenors do as well. So so that's that. And for gospel choirs, generally sing up higher up than guys who want to sing right down low. So it and Emily sort of got us there and kept us there now. So yeah, that's like amazing to be able to do that.
And actually, like, developing your voice as well, you're just kind of showing up and just singing how you would normally sing. Maybe you're actually kind of being pushed, and Em's really helping to kind of to fine tune those things and really help you utilize your best.
Indeed, Emily calls it like your head voice when you're singing high up in an octave, and then your chest voice, and it really helps to visualize it like that. So she's got very good ways of helping you visualize, hitting the note and the light. So that was very good.
We have to work at including the men though, and the tenor voices, because I, as a soprano, sometimes we have to sing in harmony, and we go solo. and
Love
you kind of think, I'm sure the men are enjoying this, but I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
But it's wonderful to be a good mixed community.
It is
Incredible.
good. It is a result. Every now and again, the tenors actually get the tune. So normally we're supporting like we're not. So we're not usually singing the tune, but every now and again there's a result when we do. So that's when people like Nicky have to sing so low, and we're like Bill and me are like,
they're loving it.
oh, I love this song.
Andy, do you remember the first song you learned with MbM Gospel Choir? Do you remember what song it was?
I think it must have been Spring of Life. I think it was definitely one of your original songs. Was one that we had to learn 4 in a really quick succession when we started, because we were singing at G Live. So Ben and I had to learn like 4. Well, everyone had to learn like 4 songs really quickly. But I'm sure Spring of Life was the first one. I'm sure, or Raw Lion Raw. That might have been.
I think it was Raw
Lion Raw. I think it might have been.
I think it was Raw Lion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It was really good. I love that song.
Mentioned that you performed at G Live. Obviously, MbM Gospel Choir has done many performances over the years, ranging from big venues like G Live to maybe on the high street for Remembrance Day, or at churches, halls, where all over the shop. So, Nicky, for you, what was your standout favorite performance you've done with the choir?
As you say, we have done many, and it's fantastic to sing as a large group, and certainly when we've joined with the other choirs, to sing on stage to celebrate the NHS 40 years at G Live, and to do a workshop with Mark DeLissa, and sing with other choirs down in Sussex. And we've done so many small and large performances. But for me, the standout one is a very modest event when we go to a care home, and it's a small group, small intimate setting, and we were there singing away. I can't quite remember which song it was, and this dear man who has Alzheimer's and frail stood up and practically edged Emily out of the way because he started to conduct, and it was so special, so moving. And he was there, he could hardly speak, but he knew his music, and he brought us in, and Emily sort of going, excuse me, this is my parade. But it was just the best. And that's what we love to do, is to embrace community and just be part of it and give joy through our performances. And that, despite all the big, fabulous things, cathedral and whatever, for me, that's the most precious.
Yeah, and for those members of that care home, obviously, it is such an incredible thing to have people come in and share their time voluntarily to engage in such a way. And I know Em is so good at this, bringing the audience in and bringing people in to feel inclusive. It's not like an us and them situation. When you are there, you are part of it, and that's incredible. So amazing that we get those opportunities to do things like that. And for you, Andy, what was your kind of standout performance that you've done since joining the choir?
My standout. So in front of people, I think my standout one would have been a carers concert we did at Guildford Cathedral. And I think that one, because there were just 12 or 13 choir members singing at that. Typically when we're at a gig, there's about 30. So it's a big sound, and it sounds amazing. And there were just 12 of us. And it taught me to realise that actually you don't, if you've got a smaller number, it's fine. It's fine. Your voice does get heard. So I was incredibly nervous at that one, because there were only like 3 tenors, and it was going to be so obvious if nothing went right. But it all went perfectly, and it was a great event. The thing that I really love is that when you look out into the audience, everyone is smiling. Everyone is smiling back, and they're absolutely loving what they're seeing, and it gives you such a kick, that you see everyone enjoying themselves, or they're joining in, wow, they're like listening to us. This is so cool. So yeah, I think that's one of my favorite ones, is up at the cathedral, actually. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And also so different, like being in the cathedral. It's a huge space to fill, and obviously it can be quite daunting. I've sung there as well, with Emily, and yeah, to go into a small space that's obviously the dynamics are very different. It's so nice actually to do those different events and to kind of learn more about yourself in a performance setting. And yeah, like you say, get that buzz when you see the audience joining in, having a great time. It's just electric, isn't it?
I remember when we did G Live. So I never ever would have thought that I'd ever be singing on stage. Somewhere like G Live, there's like hundreds of people in the audience, and you're there, and we managed to get one quick rehearsal in before it started, and I'd never been on stage before. Started to sing, and couldn't hear anything from around. No choir members at all, just me and probably just the person either side. That was it. And everybody started to get a bit timid, and then Emily pointed out, she says, no, you're on a stage. The whole point of a stage is it throws all the sound forward, so you're not going to hear it. So you just go on what you know, and you'll be fine. And it was. But I'm so pleased we had that rehearsal, because suddenly you couldn't hear yourself. Well, I know it just sounds really weird, but you just can't when you're on stage, because it's just thrown away from you. So yes, very, very pleased we have a bit of rehearsal for that one.
Yeah, and obviously, you're meeting each week, so you are getting that opportunity to get to know each other better, to be really like in sync, as it were, with each other.
We do try.
Yeah.
What I've heard, you guys sound amazing. So yeah, I will always be singing your praises. And obviously, over this time, you've done some virtual performances as well. And how did you find that?
I was terrified with these virtual performances. Partly you've got to learn how to Zoom, you've got to learn how to film, you've got to learn how to speak and sing in tune. Oh my word. But I think it's been really good. And the encouragement of having the virtual rehearsals, and there you are all by yourself. Here am I in this room, and everybody else, and you see each other and you can't hear anybody except Em. And it's enabled you to really think about your voice, think while you're doing it, and to actually, I think my voice has developed, and I've become more confident about being able to sing. And it's just been good. Partly, I don't always sing, and I just like smiling at my friends, but it's been worth it. And the virtual, I was chatting to some friends just before this, and I sent them the YouTube links to our virtual concerts, and they said they were great. They loved it, and they mean so much in these sort of strange, dark days.
Yeah, it is wonderful to, I love going to see choirs perform. It's not just being a part of it, but it is wonderful to see, and to be able to see all the faces in these virtual videos of you guys singing. Again, it just gives me so much joy, and I think so this is what people are going to get out of our concert that we have on the 12th of December, because it's getting to see people really loving and enjoying singing. And even though so much has happened this year, it has not stopped us singing, and that is so important. Yeah, it's just phenomenal. So obviously that's kind of something you never thought you'd do. There are a lot of things this year I think people thought they'd never do, like walking around in a mask in a shop, for example. But yeah, recording yourselves, it's a whole different ball game. How have you found it, Andy, with the virtual performances and going on Zoom each week?
It's something you get used to pretty quickly, actually. So we'll all learn our parts, then we'll record our sound and record the video as separate pieces that are then brought together. So you have a soundtrack running in some headphones behind you, and then you lay it down the track and send it in. You don't see anything for a while, and then suddenly it's like released on YouTube as this like amazing video, and the sound is really good, because the thing that you miss is that you don't get all the sound together. You've only got your voice, or the tenor voice, or the soprano voice, or the and then it all comes together. And when it comes together, it does sound good. It does sound great. I think I was quite. We recorded a single a couple of years ago now, where we brought a number of choirs together, and we were all in at Emmanuel Church in Guildford, and this whole recording team came in. We laid these tracks down. So we had a little bit of experience about what it's like to record stuff before we went into this into the lockdown. So I agree with Nicky. I do think your voice comes on a bit, because you get a bit more critical about it when you play it back, and then you try and improve it a little bit more, and you send it in, and then Emily will say, "That was really good. Can you do this bit again, though?" So
Yes, I've had that. Don't worry.
it's so hard to get all the pitch right all the way through. It's you waver a bit, but it's I really like it. I hope we continue to do it. Once this is all over and we're all back to normal, and we can all sing together a choir. But yeah, to keep doing like the YouTube video. I remember watching some YouTube videos on the Motivation by Music channel of the group, Nicky's group then, when it was very young, back then in that recording studio. I thought, whoa, that would be so good to do that. That would be so good for a day. And that's just a video, and we happen to all be singing together then, so that would be good to do.
Yeah, Nicky, you were a part of those recordings that were done a few years ago. I think it was in the university.
Yes, I went back and looked on the YouTube channel to see what we'd done, and it was May 2015, and we did one of Emily's own work, An Eagle in Flight, and I'd only been in the choir a short time and not sure I could even sing. And there we were in this recording studio with earphones, a microphone. You kind of think, oh, this is grown up. And it was wonderful. And I kind of thought, well, I'm going to blag this because I'm not sure I can even do it. But you can't get away with it because everybody's there singing, and Mrs. Harsh Taskmaster wants it to be right and perfect.
Yes.
And it's got to be. And I think the benefit of the virtual ones is that each individual voice comes through, and who knows what's happening in the adjustment area of the audio, but we sound fantastic. And these virtual things are a huge improvement. Well, not a huge improvement, they're different from our previous recordings, which were great. And they were my highlight, but this kind of thing is even more of a highlight.
I think the professionalism of these videos, like credit to Em and the others who are working on these videos, now getting, like, for me, working with them and getting to see kind of behind the scenes, honestly, they put so much hard work into it, and it's just, I mean, it's above and beyond each time these videos come out, and they are so professional and they sound incredible. And I find myself listening to them on repeat, as if, like, not, as if I'm kind of listening to songs normally. I'm wanting to listen to these over and over again because they just are so good. And I just, we want to get more people seeing them and listening to them because they just are fantastic. So hopefully, with our Christmas concert, it'd be even a bigger opportunity to direct people to watch our wonderful virtual performances, on top of obviously all of our other work that we've done in the past. So apart from maybe recording, is there anything specific before you joined the choir that you thought you'd never do? You're like, nah, that's not me. Andy, is there anything you'd be like, nope, never gonna do that?
We did a flash mob at Victoria Station.
Wow.
That was so I've been singing in the choir for a couple of years, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be fine. I'm sure what we're gonna do is just gonna run together and sing and then disperse. That would be great. I was working up in London that day, so I had enough time to sit on the tube for about 40 minutes whilst I was getting to Victoria Station, and the enormity about what I was about to do started to sit with me, and I thought, oh, I can't believe, how on earth am I going to just stand there on my own in the middle of Victoria Station and start to sing a song? This is nuts. I can't believe I'm going to do this. So we arrive there, and sure enough, you're just split all the way throughout the station, and then the song starts, and you have to start singing. And there's a guy next to you waiting to catch a train, and you're singing at him, and he's like steps away a bit, which I would do that too. And then you start walking in, and you come to, and then we came. I think we did Spring of Life is the one we did, and it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. And people, and I think there were people stopping, watching. They were trying to get their train, and they stopped to watch us sing this song. So we had quite a lot of people actually watching us. And we did 2 songs, and they were saying, "Look, well, can't you come back and do some more?" So it was really good. I love the flash mob. Now I've done it. It's like no one thing under my belt that I've done, so I'll do it again now.
Yeah. And you, Nicky, is there anything specifically you would like? I'm never going to do that.
I never, that's not my way of thinking. I'll embrace anything that comes my way, whether it's walking a tightrope or jumping out of an aeroplane, or I don't know. And I had no preconceptions about what I might do or where it would lead. I just thought, oh, this is fun. Let's go with it and see where it takes us. And it's taken me into areas that were completely unknown. I wouldn't have even been able to imagine them. And the flash mob was fun. And we sang, the other song we sang was I'll Be There. And it was just so good to see people responding to a song that they really knew, rather than one that was a performance that was one of M's own compositions. And you kind of think, oh, what's another tick, another fun thing to have done. I wonder what's next.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, who knows, Emily? She's got so many ideas in her brain, so many fun things ready. Yeah, just gonna pull them out.
I remember we sung on BBC Radio. So BBC Radio have like a music day, and we joined loads of choirs throughout the country singing in various railway stations. So we sang at Guildford, and that was that was amazing. We went live on the radio. That was a real buzz. I really enjoyed doing that, and they interviewed a few of us as well. So yeah, that was good.
Oh. Yeah. And Em's quite well connected. She tends to get us doing pretty cool stuff. I mean, for goodness sake, I was on X Factor once upon a time. I mean, not as a backing singer, but yeah, she gets us in all sorts of great places and new experiences. It's wonderful. Gosh, it's been such a pleasure talking to you both. Thank you so much. It's just so interesting to hear about you and your experience of being a part of one of M's choirs. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing you in our virtual Christmas concert in 3 weeks' time. We put a little teaser up yesterday of the of one of the songs that you guys are doing as a joint with all the others, and it is sounding amazing, so I'm very excited. But yeah, thank you for everyone who joined us on Facebook. It's so nice to be able to do something like this, especially given everything that's going on. I hope you enjoyed hearing what we had to say, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.